Let's be honest. Stress is a bastard. It sneaks in between your to-dos and your emails. It hides behind a smile, under a full agenda, inside your chest at 3 a.m. when your brain won't shut up. And worst of all, it makes you believe it's all your fault. But stress isn't the problem. It's how you deal with it. My dishwasher broke last week. Just the idea of doing dishes by hand, instant tension. By Wednesday, a mountain of dirty plates. By Thursday, an annoyed girlfriend. By Friday, stress level 100. And the crazy part? It wasn't about the dishes. It was about what I made it mean. I'm too busy. I don't have time. This ruins my evening. And the water is always either too hot or too cold. But once I reframed it, I get to do my bit. 10 minutes of talking while I clean. A tidy kitchen and a happy partner. Suddenly, same dishes, less drama. That's the art of stress management. Not pretending things don't bother you, but changing your relationship with them. Because stress isn't just about what's happening. It's about what you believe is happening. That client who reschedules, she's not your enemy. She's your chance to show what great service really looks like. That colleague who forgot something, not sabotage, just a reminder that we're all human. So if you want to lower your stress, you don't just need better habits. You need better stories, but there's more. Because some stress isn't in your head, it's in your schedule. If you handle every negative impulse immediately, all day long, you're never recharging. You're just leaking energy. So here's a trick. Batch your stress. Block an hour in your day to handle the crap. Client complaints, difficult emails, admin tasks. Do it all in one go. The rest of the day, positive input, momentum, recovery. Because just like your phone, you don't run well when you're constantly being drained. And now the real talk. Chronic stress isn't cute. It doesn't make you strong. It makes you sick. Your body is smart, but it wasn't built for a 24/7 cortisol drip. So let's get practical. Real life stuff. Not just deep breathing and just think positive. They'll both help. Here's what actually works. Move, walk, stretch, dance like an idiot. Just move your body. Endorphins don't argue. Sleep. No screen, no snacks. Just rest. Your brain needs time to clean up the emotional mess. Talk. Call a friend. Vent, laugh. Hug someone. Oxytocin is real. And it's free. Reframe. Don't fight the rain. Grab an umbrella. And if you don't have one, dance in it. Eat like you care about yourself. Food is fuel, not punishment. And coffee is not a personality. Do one thing just for fun. Not to be productive. Not to be impressive. Just because it makes you smile. Breathe. In, out, slow, simple. No app needed. Get a coach. Someone who helps you zoom out. Who challenges your bullshit story about why you can't relax. Because sometimes you need someone to remind you that you're not broken. You're just overwhelmed. And that's okay. But it's not forever. Not if you take action. Not if you breathe. Not if you dare to slow down so you can speed up again in your terms. So next time you feel the tension rising, ask yourself, is this urgent or just loud? Is this worth my health? What would it look like to handle this from a place of calm? Because that's the goal. Not a life without stress, but a life where you stay in charge, no matter what the world throws at you. Let's get back to that. Let's get this straight. Stress doesn't happen to you. You create it in your head with your thoughts. And yeah, I know that might piss you off because it's easier to blame the deadline, the ex, the inbox, the client, the dishwasher. But stress isn't the thing itself. It's the story you attach to it. Dr. Mike Evans, brilliant guy, once sat in a bar in France during the World Cup. The game was intense. But what fascinated him wasn't the game. It was the fans watching it. He wondered, can the stress from a football match actually cause health problems? Answer, yes. A study during a Dutch-French game in '96 showed a 50% higher chance of heart attacks among Dutch men. Not the women. Not the French. Just the Dutch guys glued to their screens trying to will their team into the semifinals. Let that sink in. The game didn't kill them. Their thoughts did. Because here's the deal. When stress hits, your body goes into fight or flight. Adrenaline, cortisol, heart pounding, breathing shallow, blood pressure through the roof. And if that lasts long enough, your immune system breaks down, your digestion slows, you stop sleeping, you start snapping at your kids, you drink more, you eat worse, you isolate, you fade. And the worst part? It feels normal because it happens slowly, like boiling a frog. Except the frog is your nervous system. But here's the good news. You're not a victim of stress. You're the author of it, which means you can rewrite the script. That's where cognitive reframing comes in. That's where mindfulness comes in. That's where you come in. Because the most powerful freedom we have is the ability to exchange one thought for another. William James said that a century ago. Still true today. It's not the event, it's the meaning. Your boss gives you feedback. You think, I'm a failure. Or you think, I'm growing. You lose your job. You think, I'm worthless. Or, this is my chance to do what I actually want. You spill your coffee. You think, I'm an idiot. Or, it's just coffee. Wipe. Move on. Same moment. Different meaning. Different life. Mindfulness teaches you to pause in that space between stimulus and response. To breathe before you react. To feel without drowning. To observe without judging. And when you start doing that, stress loses its grip, because it's not about never feeling it. It's about feeling it without feeding it. Stress isn't what happens. It's how tightly you hold on to it. You don't need to fight it. You need to loosen your grip. Take a breath and let it go before it owns you. Look, sometimes stress isn't in the situation. Sometimes it's just in the words we choose. Last week I had a woman in coaching. Brilliant job, smart mind, but completely overwhelmed. I'm disgusted with my colleagues. One is insanely incompetent. The entire department is a hurricane of misery. My entire existence is wavering. Sounds intense, right? So I asked her, is it really that bad? Or is it the language that's making it feel worse? We zoomed in. And guess what? The insanely incompetent colleague missed a €25 calculation and a €5,000 quote. The extremely annoying one was late once because his kid was sick. The hurricane of misery. A handful of manner issues. Manageable, fixable, human. The real problem? Exaggeration. Or like the psychologists call it, catastrophizing. When you speak in extremes, you feel in extremes. He's always like that. This is unbearable. Is a disaster. I can't take this anymore. But is it true? Or just the way your brain turned up the volume? Because here's the truth. Language creates your inner world. And when you dramatize, you don't just describe the storm, you become the storm. Imagine this. You spill your coffee. You say, ugh, I'm such an idiot. Boom. Now you're not a person who spilled a cup. You're a failure. Over coffee. But what if you said, well, that was clumsy, lighter, smaller, and you move on? Because how you label a moment is how your brain will file it. Is it a crisis, or is it just unexpected? Is your team falling apart, or is it just having a rough week? It's not about lying to yourself. It's about accuracy. Calling things what they are, not what your stress wants them to be. Because your nervous system doesn't know the difference. If you say, I'm drowning, it'll believe you. If you say, I'm managing, Even when it's hard, it calms down. And this doesn't just affect you. Your words shape your team, your relationship, your kids, your culture. Say someone's totally useless and watch them shrink. Say they made a small mistake and watch them learn. Language is leadership. So how do you stop catastrophizing? Start simple. Write down the words you use a lot when things go wrong. Always. Never. Insane. Unbearable. Horrific. Listen to how dramatic it sounds when you say it out loud, and then practice swapping them for lighter, more accurate terms. Instead of, I'm dead tired. Say, I need a break. Instead of, this is a nightmare. Say, this is challenging. Instead of, they always screw up. Say, they made a mistake. 2 weeks of this practice can change your inner world and the world around you. Because when your words get softer, your thoughts get clearer, your stress gets quieter, your leadership gets stronger. So next time something goes wrong, don't reach for the drama. Reach for the truth and say what it is. No more, no less. Look, we've talked about how your words shape your world. But now it's time for the harder part. How other people's words shape your world and what you decide they mean. Because yeah, you can learn to speak softly. You can stop exaggerating. You can reframe your language and bring peace into every room you enter. But if you keep interpreting what others say as an attack, as a judgment, as a rejection, you'll still be at war, just in your own head. Let me be honest. It's not just about what people say. It's about what you hear. Because not everything someone says is about you. And not everything that hurts was meant to hurt. Someone says, I'm busy. You might hear, you're not important. Someone says, that could have been better. You might hear, I'm not good enough. Someone says, are you okay? And you might hear, I look like a mess. But none of that was actually said. We fill in the blanks. We read between the lines. We add tone. We project intention. And before we know it, a neutral sentence becomes an emotional grenade. And here's the kicker. You're the one who pulled the pin. Because yes, language has power, but interpretation is what gives it meaning. Your partner says, why are you so quiet today? And you think, they are annoyed. I'm not being fun. I'm a failing. But maybe what they really meant was, I miss your voice. I care. Same words, different ears, different world. So how do you fix this? You pause. You ask. You check. Hey, can I check what you meant by that? Just to be sure. You're not mad, right? I noticed I took that a bit personally. Was that how you meant it? 9 times out of 10, you'll realize it wasn't about you at all. And the one time it is, at least now you're dealing with truth, not your own mental fiction. Because let's be honest, most conflict isn't caused by what was said. It's caused by what was assumed. And most pain doesn't come from the world. It comes from what we think the world is saying about us. That colleague didn't say you were lazy. They said they'll fuck you. You forgot to send it. That friend didn't abandon you. They just didn't text back yet. That stranger didn't disrespect you. They just had a bad day. So if you really want peace, don't just watch your own words. Watch your own ears. Don't just change how you speak. Change how you listen. Not everything is meant as judgment. Not every tone means rejection. Not every silence means distance. Sometimes people say weird stuff, clumsy stuff, defensive stuff, unclear stuff. But before you decide what it meant, take a breath. Ask. Clarify. Because when you change what you think they said, you change how you feel. And when you change how you feel, you stop reacting and start responding. That's where freedom lives. Let's flip the script for a second. We've talked about what stress does to you. We've talked about how your words shape how you feel. We've even looked at how other people's words hit harder than we sometimes admit. But now, let's talk about something most people ignore completely. What if you could prime your brain to respond better? Before anything even happens, welcome to the world of positive priming. Sounds fancy, but it's simple. Positive priming means this. If you feed your brain positive input first, it'll respond more positively to whatever comes next. And this isn't wishful thinking, it's neurology. Start your day reading something hopeful, and you're more creative. Get a well done at the start of a meeting, and you'll probably speak up more. Hear the words trust, gratitude, you've got this, and your brain literally opens up to possibility instead of threat. There's research behind this. Say the word kindness before a team meeting, and people are more likely to offer help. Say creativity, and problem solving shoots up. Say teamwork, and trust grows faster than any team building exercise. And the best part? It doesn't have to be deep. It just has to be intentional. So what does this look like in the real world? Start your meetings with good news. Post quotes that actually uplift instead of pretending to. Say things like, I appreciate you more than once a year. Send a voice memo that starts with, hey, I think you're doing great. Here's what I noticed. Begin Monday by asking your team, what went well last week? Simple, small, powerful. Now let's clear something up. Is this manipulation? No. Not if you're honest about it. Not if your intention is connection, not control. Because here's the difference. Manipulation hides the motive. Positive priming says, I want us all to feel a bit better so we can be better together. That's not manipulation. That's leadership. That's humanity. So let me ask you, what words do you feed your team with? Your partner? Yourself? Are you planting seeds of fear, of criticism, of tension? Or are you priming for trust, joy, belief, energy? Because the words you use become the environment you build in. And the brain? It reacts before logic kicks in. So how do you start? Start small. Start now. Say thank you. Mean it. Say, great job. And look them in the eye. Say, I believe in you when they doubt themselves. Say, we'll figure it out. Instead of, what now? And if you want to go deeper, start with yourself. How do you talk to yourself when no one's listening? Do you start your morning thinking, here we go again? Or do you whisper something like, let's give today a chance? Let's find one thing to be proud of. Let's make one person feel seen. Because that's all it takes. One positive prime, one shift in tone, and suddenly, your whole day has a new starting point. So if you want to lead better, communicate better, live lighter, stop waiting for a mood to improve. Create it. Start the conversation. Set the tone. Prime the people around you for warmth, for honesty, for hope. Because when you change your words, you really do change the world. And yourself. It reduces your stress.